The fix is in. The Sports Fix.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix CLE. It's that simple.
Twitter.com/TheSportsFixCLE, baby.
Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, The Sports Fix on social media, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix CLE. Join The Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
This is Greg Pruitt, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
You bet it's that time, baby. It is noon, Friday, end of the week. Another one in the books and heading into a big loaded weekend coming up here. A lot to go, not just to go down in Cleveland, a lot to go on in sports, and a lot to go down right here on today's edition of the Sports Fix. Fridays are always busy, even more busy today. I mean, let's see. Let's go through the slate. Besides the news and all those things and a Cavaliers trade getting ready to finalize here, and we'll get into the details that are beginning to emerge, some clarity coming out of that. But we've got the sports writer extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, my man, JK, kicking things off just about, 12, 15 minutes from now. He'll be with us. We'll talk some Indians. We'll talk about the rebirth of League Park. I'm going to talk about that with Jonathan Knight. Browns quarterbacks, Cleveland's big weekend here. Of course, not just the Browns and the Indians, but the Gladiators all in action tomorrow. Gladiators, by the way, that somebody told me that's not just any old regular football game that they're having down there at the Q. And my man Doug Plagens will be here in hour one to preview the ArenaBowl, baby, as another big economic and sports event comes down to downtown Cleveland. And the Gladiators, they may have had the season of seasons, and Coach Tunn won the Coach of the Year award yesterday, but they face the franchise, the kind of the centerpiece of arena football here. We'll talk about all of that heading into the ArenaBowl. Doug Plagens from the Cleveland Gladiators joins us. Browns, Rams, home game, all of that, dress rehearsal, Brian Hoyer, all the storylines we've been talking about. That comes down tomorrow. Jeff Gorman and Ryan Ruiz are going to be with us here talking about the Browns game in hour number 2. We're going to take your calls, all the news, everything, so much. Like I said, a whole lot chock full of goodness. Today's edition of the Sports Fix, and I cannot wait. So let's wait no longer, you guys. Let's dive right into the Sports Fix. Welcome in, guys. I'm your host, the Big Daddy on the microphone, J-Rock, Jerry Myers. Call me what you will. I do conduct some madness, and I do it right here each and every weekday at noon. And you guys join us. Maybe it's your first time. Maybe you've been here since the first time. However you're doing it, thank you across the Sports Fix radio network. Maybe you're listening live on TuneIn Radio and their digital radio applications worldwide. Perhaps you listen to us right on the home base itself, thesportsfix.net. Maybe you listen on Spreaker and Mixler and their websites and mobile applications, or perhaps you're one of the thousands that listen on digital delay 24/7 around the world on iHeartRadio, the world's largest internet radio provider, on Stitcher and SoundCloud and CarPlay and all of the other places that you can listen, download, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you guys so much. The numbers continue to grow. As I told you guys, Monday, just every once in a while, you'll have those blip shows, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe those are the days where just everybody comes together, but continuing to grow day by day, week by week. Thank you guys so much for that, because without you, this is nothing. I'm a guy talking to myself on a microphone, and with you guys, we are the the Sports Fix universe. And that's why I say all the time, I don't just talk to you and at you with you. And I want you to talk to me and be a part of the show because this is your show. That's right. I see Charles in the chat room. Q, sold out, baby, for the Gladiators. There's going to be 150,000 people coming through downtown Cleveland tomorrow. Throw me off my track. Be a part of the show. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535. We are literally only taking phone calls. First segment, last segment of today's show. And, you know, I've had some people leaving messages trying to get through. It is amazing to me that when the phone lines are open, when the phone lines are not open, the difference in the number of people that call, it's almost like doing the thing that you're not supposed to do. I don't know. Maybe from now on, I should say the phone lines aren't open when they are. Maybe if I flip-flop that thing. It's just funny. Some people, I'm telling you, it's like they'll call every time the phone lines aren't open, and I'm like, man, I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you, man. It's just amazing, the timing sometimes, but it's because I tell you guys all the time, we all listen different ways, different times, different platforms, different areas, everything. So even if you're listening live, some of you may be listening to me 7 seconds behind reality. Some of you may be listening 30 or 60 seconds behind. So those things all make the difference sometimes, and I understand that, you guys. So anyways, getting back into it, 216-539-7535. If you can't get through on the phones, use Facebook and Twitter and email, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. Email us, the Sports Fix at AOL.com. And, you know, with looking ahead here, before we dive into the meat of things here and get rolling with the show, just looking at this weekend, talked about it, you know, with Indians and Glads and Browns, and the casinos got promotions going on, and there's plays downtown debuting. There's concerts down there. I mean, there's every event that could be down there, driving people down there. And I'm thinking, man, you know, sometimes after a week or 2 weeks like we've had, I mean, there's always stuff going on, but man, there has been so much heavy real life stuff going on in all of our lives, man, that you got, and I always say, remember this, the sports fix, sports world, it's the distraction that allows us to break away from that stuff. I mean, just think in the last week or two, Ferguson and the things that are going on there, and you don't even want to get me started, because I'll branch off into all kinds of political things and different things. But I mean, we're on the verge of a world war type situation in so many different areas. There's so many ugly things. I mean, I did a lot of reading up into the stuff going on with Foley, and I mean, that is some unconscionable things. I mean, it's a scary time that we're living in right now. I mean, and even on a local level, even taking the geopolitical stuff out of the way. I mean, you hear about a guy like Jason Bitsko this week, and he goes to sleep. 21-year-old healthy kid. He's a big horse playing football, and he doesn't wake up again. Just whatever it is, we've all been inundated and touched by the big tragedies, the little ones, all of these things. And man, thank God sometimes for just a big, like a night like tomorrow. Like, if you're a sports freak, you can spend a couple of hours either out and about or at the house with the remote control, flipping through 3-4 different things and just completely immersing yourself in something else. Every once in a while, you need that. I mean, you can't go so far to the other extreme that you forget about reality either, but sometimes you really need that. I mean, even outside of that, in my own personal life, I don't know what it is, but if you know me, if I were you, man, I'd be careful on the roadways. I just found out this morning a second friend in the last 7 days in a very, very serious automobile accident. One of my friends and his girlfriend coming back from New York last night. I mean, I just saw the pictures of their vehicle. You would look at it, and I have no idea how you walk away, luckily, with some bruises and some soreness, but nothing life-threatening, because when you look at it, you go, man, that's not... You shouldn't walk away just scot-free from something like that. And my boy Ray Rowe, I told you guys about him, a professional wrestler, one of my best friends in the world. You got to get totals his motorcycle. I mean, lucky to be alive. Matter of fact, just had surgery yesterday to have his arm repaired. He's like the $6 million man now. They can rebuild him. He was scary before. Let me tell you, now he's got metal inside of him. But anyways, all of that stuff just makes me go, man, I'm glad to have an outlet like this and an opportunity to sit down with great people like you and doing all of the things that we do each and every day, watching sports, talking about it, giving us a way to distract ourselves, to get outside of so much darkness and deep reality that's going on around us, you guys. So I just kind of wanted to say that a little bit, put a little bit of perspective on it, and now let's dive into talking about all of that stuff. Real quick, I've got Jonathan Knight coming on just about 3-4 minutes from now. I will quickly touch on details coming out. Even though the Cavaliers don't play tomorrow, they do perhaps have a big day on tap, although it may not be. Some people thinking that things may go down as soon as tomorrow, because August 23rd being the first day that the trade can be consummated, because it's 30 days since Andrew Wiggins was signed. But I'm already hearing on the Minnesota end, they're looking at a Tuesday press conference to introduce players and make the formal announcements of things. So it may be, Cleveland may be gung-ho to drop this thing, and they know there's going to be a party atmosphere tomorrow, so they may want to drop this tomorrow, but it may not be until Monday either. But details starting to clarify about the trade. It's now been confirmed that it's going to be, it may end up being 2 separate trades involving 3 teams, but they're attempting to make it one single 3-team deal. And it would happen as soon as tomorrow. They would have to make the call around the league to do it. It will involve the Philadelphia 76ers as well as Minnesota and Cleveland. And a little bit of a difference. Instead of 1, it is 2 first-round draft picks that the Cavaliers are said to be parting ways with here. Minnesota, to give up Kevin Love to the Cavaliers, Minnesota will get Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Bennett, so back-to-back number 1 overall picks, a future first-round pick from the Cavaliers. They would also pick up an option of doing a trade flip for that with Philadelphia in the future to get Thaddeus Young brought over from Philadelphia to Minnesota as that part of the deal. And there's also a first-round draft pick from Miami that the Cavaliers were set to get that is going to be moved over to, I believe, Philadelphia in this trade. So at the end of the day, it's basically the deal that we thought, although, and I think there's a bit of a difference here. Hey, it's going down. It doesn't matter. 2 number 1 picks, 1 of Cleveland's, 1 of Miami's, Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins going to Minnesota and or Philadelphia in the 3-team deal. So that could come down tomorrow. And like I said, the Cavs may want to drop it just to have it out there and to add to that atmosphere downtown. Speaking of dropping, and I'll get more into this later, but I'm going to give you an ominous warning, Browns fans, from John McMullen. The NFL, when they make Friday announcements, it's a dark announcement usually. They purposely announce bad news on Fridays. A lot of businesses do this. They announce bad news on Friday afternoons so that there's nobody responsible for answering questions about it until Monday. It gives you the whole weekend to not have to deal with the media fallout. For Browns fans' sakes, hope that Josh Gordon's announcement doesn't come out today, because if it does, there's a very good chance that it's the bad announcement that you don't want to hear, because that is a lot of times what the NFL drops on Friday afternoon. So keep that in mind this afternoon and into this evening. If a Josh Gordon decision comes down today, it may not be a good sign for the Browns and their hopes to have him for at least part of this upcoming season. Let's hit the break. We'll talk about all of that. The sports writer extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, joins us next. I'm going to talk a little bit to him about the establishment, rebirth of League Park a bit. I know JK is going to love that. We'll talk some Indians with him, Cavs, Browns, quarterbacks, Cleveland, baby. The sports writer extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, joins us next. We'll talk about all of that, so much more here as the future, at least today, future looking kind of bright here in Cleveland. I'm feeling good. Going to talk to Jonathan Knight and you about it when we come back. Doug Plagens with an ArenaBowl preview coming up a little bit later in hour 1. Jeff Gorman, Ryan Ruiz, Browns talk, Indians, Cavs, so much more. The Sports Fix has just begun. Don't go anywhere.
Science. I love my classes. I got a crazy teacher. He wears dark glasses. Things are going great, and they're only getting better. I'm doing all right, getting good grades. The future's so bright. I gotta wear shades. I gotta wear shades.
When it comes to Cleveland sports, we go from
You can't touch this.
to.
I can't watch this.
So listen to The Fix. It's easier on the eyes.
Hey guys, before we go